Aloha and welcome to the We Don't Have a Sponsor Intermission Show. That's right, this is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and this is the first intermission. Not a bad game. Very well played by both sides, both ends. I got to sit there and say I'm happy with what I saw from both sides. You give Dallas credit, you give St. Louis credit. Both goalies playing well. Dallas taking 14 shots. That's or I think it was 12 or 14. It might have changed there. Let me see if I can pull it up the right way. Okay, 13 shots to 11. They've changed it up a little bit. Both teams with 7 hits. Power play each. Both 0 for on the power play. This not bad here. Takeaways, 3 for Dallas, 1 for St. Louis. Giveaways are 3 for St. Louis, 2 for Dallas. For me, I'm seeing good stuff. I think that we're seeing a good play. I'm waiting for my co-host here. I like seeing him. The power play for St. Louis left a little bit to be desired. What we got here in the comments: 8 minutes of high speed and out, 12 minutes of surviving. Yeah, I could see that. A few sloppy plays. There were sloppy plays on both sides, and that's going to happen. Let's bring in Slapshot. Hey, Slapshot. Not a bad period in my eyes. No.
I thought that at the end it got a little sloppy. They didn't generate really anything on the power play. Really, Bennington has shown up, though.
Yeah. Jose, you might be the only one, man.
Yeah.
When I see those jerseys,
Chris likes them too. Lambert was messaging me that he likes them too, but I'm not a fan.
You know when I see those, you know what I think of?
What?
When the sun goes down on my side of town, under the light of a neon moon.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, Marianne, I get one for that, ugly. Right? Sure. You can get one of those. It's all right, Chris. Everybody has their own preference.
You're welcome to, buddy.
No big deal.
Yep. No. So I did think that the power play left a little bit to be desired, and Dallas does not have a great penalty kill. So I did see that. I think that what happens a lot of times when you come in and you know a team doesn't have a good penalty kill, guys kind of think that it's going to be easy, and then they get kind of complacent, and the other team really difference between 80% power play and a 60% power play or penalty kill is this. It's minuscule, and that's what people don't understand. It's the difference between the number 1 team and the number 32 team is minuscule. It's not that much, 1 or 2 players here and there. Oh man, I ate some of your daughter's favorite food. I had some of the lasagna, and now I'm feeling it. It's a little heavy there.
Oh, she only likes the mini ravioli. She don't like the lasagna.
Yeah, I kind of like the lasagna's the only one where they just changed it. Where I thought they didn't change the sauce, it was the thicker sauce. Then they went to that really like watery sauce, and I hate it, but I do.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got to take a drink there. No, so far, I'm okay with what we're seeing. I saw good effort. Someone said it earlier. Kyrou is definitely the best player on the ice right now. Bennington has played well this period. I mean, he wasn't extremely tested, but on the couple that he got, that he was tested. He was there for. And that's not saying anything. That's just being honest, right? That's just being honest, because Ottinger wasn't tested either.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he did good on a couple of breakouts, but it's not just Kyrou. Tarasenko seemed to be doing pretty well out there too.
Yep. Oh, I ran into Chris Thompson today. He was driving in my neighborhood, and I was wearing my O'Reilly shirt. He didn't know it was me. He got the shock of his life. Right, so good to see you there, buddy. And let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend, and our friend and buddy and pal, and the only one who can make Ashley not talk.
Hey, I respect him enough that I want to listen.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, buddy. What's up, man? How you doing, Lance?
Not too bad. How are you guys?
Hey, we're doing good. So what did you think of the first period there, Lancer?
I thought it was a fun first period. I think that the guy that stood out to me and has always stood out to me in any game I've watched him is Robertson for Dallas. He that kid is a really good player, and a lot of people think he should have won the Calder Trophy his rookie season, and I understand that, and I understand why the Stars are upset he didn't. But he's the player over out of both teams that really stood out. I thought Tarasenko looked really good, but I'm sure we'll hear and see comments that Tarasenko needs to step it up and score goals, and he's not doing well. And I just thought it was a good game. Both teams have good players. I think Dallas has 6 points less than the Blues, if I'm not mistaken. But they've played most teams really tough. I don't see any huge flaws in the way the Blues are playing in the first period. Sure, they can improve in on some of those entry lapses that they just allowed Dallas to skate in. I thought Bennington was pretty dang good. I know that a lot of the people, and I'm going to mention it, the Blues Lounge now have started a controversy with Phil Uso within a year is going to be our starting goalie and we can trade Bennington. And I brought out, he's played 19 games. That's all Phil Uso has played in the NHL. And last year,
he's played that many, has he?
Yep, 2 this year and 16 last year.
Okay.
So yeah,
that's only 18 games.
Yeah, well, 19 total is what I figured out. So I looked it up, and up until this year, his save percentage has been 880 or 883. And that's not all on him. The team didn't play well in front of him last year a lot of the times. I think he's a capable backup, but I honestly, unless he keeps playing like he has this year, I don't see him becoming a starter in the NHL. And if he is that, the Blues can move on from him, and they've got Hoffer and Ellis in the wings that I think are even better than Ville Husso is.
Yeah, Guy and I were talking pregame that we think that Husso might be gone after this year because we have a Hoffer and an Ellis, and he's an unrestricted.
Yeah, I brought that out too at the beginning of the year, and
I don't think he's here past the trade deadline.
It could be. You could definitely be right. Somebody looking to shore up their goaltending situation, heading into the playoffs. In my mind, I could see a team like Edmonton trying to make a move. They've got their top goalie now, but I think they're still searching for a decent backup in my mind. I don't think no matter what Toronto does, they'll always be looking for a backup goaltender. So and you know what? Let's say Ville plays, 20 games this year, and he does very well, and not only has a good save percentage and a goals against, but other teams notice that when he needs to make a save to keep his team in a game or to save a game, he does it. I have no doubts that if somebody comes to the Blues around the trade deadline and says, "Hey, we would really be interested in Ville Husso," he's going to be available. But even though we know Doug Armstrong and what he asked for, and sometimes he doesn't want to budge like what he's asking for Tarasenko. But if somebody gave him some decent return for Ville Husso, knowing Hoffer and Ellis are back there, I don't see him turning it down at all.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. And it's not that I don't like Hoffer.
No.
Husso, pardon me. It's not that I don't like Husso. And Ryan says, so Husso's maybe playing for a job next year. Absolutely he is. Right?
Actually,
and,
he's playing for a job this year. He's playing for a job this year.
I would say that I like Husso, so I would like to see him move somewhere that could utilize him better, knowing what we have in the system.
I think he could be a starting goalie in a middling team. Yeah. Right? He can't. I don't think he can be a starting goalie for a contender, but I think he can be a starting goalie for a playoff team.
I think he can be a starting goalie when it's a 1A and 1B. When each one plays 40 games, around 40 games, like he plays 38, the other guy plays 44, something like that, then I could see him doing that. But he's never been a guy that's played 50, 60 games in a season.
Yeah, but, and I could also see a team that has an aging goalie wanting to get him to, work under somebody and then replace them when they retire.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at Dallas right now. Dallas has Ottinger in. They have
Two
Big
aging
Ben,
goalies.
Big
Yep.
Bishop injured. They have
Holtby.
Opie injured right now, so they could be one of those teams. And they're possible. I know they're down in the numbers right now, but they possibly could be fighting for their playoff life, right? So they could be looking to shore something up. Not only that, I also look at. I think that he could. Richard Campbell, St. Louis, bringing in Dermont. I'm not sure who he's talking about there.
Yeah, I'm not sure who Dermott is.
By the way, that's Richard Campbell, our buddy and a friend and our pal there. I see. I'll tell you who I see somebody going for him is Travis Dermont.
Yeah, for the Leafs. No,
Okay.
the Blues aren't going to go after. Blues are not going to go after any goaltender if Vil leaves, unless Hoffer just stinks it up and Ellis just doesn't grow. Hoffer
And even
is
then,
the
they
heir
have
apparent.
Lindgren,
Yeah,
who is decent.
And they also have Fitzpatrick still in their system, if I'm not mistaken. So this team is goaltender heavy, and I don't see them going after him from Toronto. I just don't.
I don't see. I see. I'm thinking, and I know I'm going to get shot. If I was Arizona, Kessel, I think Kessel was on the last of his contract or as a year left. I mean, if you're in a complete rebuild, that's who you trade for. That's who you trade.
Yeah, everybody, the consensus from the people I've talked to and a lot of the NHL insiders on NHL.com and Sportsnet, almost all of them say 100% that Phil Kessel's gone at the trade deadline.
Yeah, well, I mean, there you go. And they're in goaltender hell, right? Yeah. And even when they get a good one, he gets hurt.
Yeah, so, and the problem is they've got some young defensemen, and whoever they get as goaltender is going to have to really put up with some pretty heavy shot games against him. So, I see a lot of people saying that, that Arizona is building a new stadium. It's a done deal. It's not a done deal. They haven't got the approval for it. And if anybody saw the article that I quoted on Twitter, the people from Quebec are going to be meeting with Gary Bettman. And in my mind, if you're Gary Bettman, do you support a team, even if they can get a $1.7 billion stadium built, which I just don't see it. It's not going to bring people to the stadium. And even if it does, it's going to be very low attendance. And sorry for you guys out there in Arizona. There are some rabid hockey fans out there, but there's not a lot that want to go to every game. There's so much other things to do. And Quebec's got a brand new arena that's a couple years old that's set there. When they applied for the expansion, and it was between them and Vegas, they had 28,000 people put down payments on season tickets and another 20 or 30,000 people on the waiting list. They won't have any problem selling out that stadium every night, regardless of how good or bad they are.
Yeah, we talked about this last night. I do think Phoenix is one of the two teams that I think is most likely to move. But if I'm the NHL, that's not the team I want to put in Quebec. If I'm going to move a team to Quebec, I'm moving Florida. Right? And the reason I'm moving Florida, and again, the NHL can't make a team move. However, I know Florida, you look at the attendance in Florida, you look at the fact that they're a good team this year, and they still can't. They drew 12,000 the other night. 12,000 in an 18,000 stadium. You can't build a team. You can't continue to do what you're doing like that.
That's much better than Arizona. I think averages 4,000 to 8,000.
Oh, I know, so. But you see, if you put Arizona in Quebec, you're putting a losing team up there, and they're not going to stand for it. Those 20,000 are, maybe they paid for the tickets, but they ain't going to show up. They're not going to show up and watch losing hockey, right? They've waited way too long.
Well, the thing is, Guy, even when the Nordiques weren't great, when they were just an average team, I think the arena only held 15,000, and that's one of the reasons why they left. They were still jam-packed every night. The only reason that team moved is at that time they couldn't get the province of Quebec or the city of Quebec to give them money for a new stadium, and it was basically because of the owner. If it would have been a different owner, they'd have got a new stadium. But the owner,
because they won the cup the next year.
Yeah, the owner of that team, he basically forced their hand and moved to Colorado. So, they're great fans. I don't care who goes there. I just want a team in Quebec because I know a lot of people up there. I've spent a lot of time up there. And I tell you, it would be one of the craziest arenas. I know everybody already calls the Vegas Golden Knights the best fan base in hockey. Well, you're not.
Not even close.
Why don't you go through 5, 6, 7 years of not making the playoffs? And if they still pack that arena at 18 to 20,000, then we'll call you the best fans. But until
we
that
talked
happens,
to Kim Cat about that.
Yeah,
Talked to Kim Cat about that. You know, about not having to go through that trial that they haven't had yet.
Yep.
And she was actually afraid that, you know, once the team started losing, that they were going to lose the fan base.
Oh,
Right?
I'm going to tell you, I lived in Vegas for a year. Vegas is a very fickle town. It's what's hot now, what's hot, you know, and if something you like is still a hot product, they'll spend all kind of money. I think the average upper deck ticket on resale goes for almost $200.
Yeah.
People will go see them. But if they start failing, I know that market too well. It's gonna really hurt things. And not Doug Armstrong. Another reason why I think Bettman needs to move on. He's made the owners a lot of money, and that's the only reason he's still there. He keeps pushing these. Well, we must have hockey in warm weather cities. We must go to Houston and San Antonio next. We must go to this part next, and it's all warm weather cities. Yeah, you got to build your game, but you also got to know your bread and butter. And in my mind, it's not cities where the temperature gets up to 100 degrees in the summer. There's just a lot of other things to do. And hey, I'm sure there's hockey fans in Houston from the old Houston minor league team there.
I hate to cut you off, but we're almost back. What's your Ashley? What do you think is going to happen in the second?
I'm just hoping that they continue what they did in the first. Stop making sloppy entries. Get cycling going if they get another power play, and just drive to the net.
Lance?
I think just keep doing what they're doing. You know, I don't see any huge flaws in your game, short some of the mistakes of allowing Dallas to skate into your zone uncontested. But other than that, I just want them to play the same game.
Yeah, I want to see it up. I'd like to see them limit Dallas's shots a little bit more. Giving them 12 shots, I think if you keep doing that, they're gonna light the lamp, and you need to light the lamp first. Also, real quick, Cook Lambert, what I said about Detroit was that they would move to the West if a team goes to Quebec, not that they would move Detroit to Quebec.
No, they're not.
Clear that up. So keep testing. And Tarasenko had that great shot. If he would have had just a little more, somebody's got their stick on it. If his stick was clear, that goes in. So keep playing hard. They're playing down a linesman, so use that to your advantage, right? Watch those entries and watch their entries, because if it's offside, it's offside. Okay, guys, game's back on. This is Guy, the Wild Blues fan, for Lance and Ashley saying aloha mahalo, and we'll see you at the next interview.